Hi, Amber. Please consider this the estate's request for you to vacate the property before or on January 31st, 2021. It'd be appreciated if you leave the property clean, tidy, and free of any personal items, furniture, and trash. Thanks, Jennifer Bosch, independent executor to Sherry K. Langford's estate, the Inn at Dos Brisas. Today is her birthday, you know. Treat yourself on your birthday. So, my aunt had agreed to help me sell my flooded house. So I was feeling pretty good and pretty hopeful. We'd broken it to my grandmother. She was on good behavior because my aunt was around. Right on. My primary goal had been to dive deep into drugs and have some good old-fashioned escapism. That hadn't worked for me. I was smart enough to know that I didn't want the fucking dependency without the perks, and for you to understand why they would be perks at that time. At this time, I'm not far, you know? That's just, I'm sad. That's all. Fucking sad. Since they weren't quote unquote working for me, and again, I dabbled in high school, so I had a really good idea of what they should be doing, you know? Second best was to be able to just make a clean break, right? I know that I can't stay in my family without also being a drug addict, and that you just can't. You can't. It's hard to deal with people that are that differently focused than you, I guess, right? Anyway, so I'm feeling like there's hope, and my aunt's gonna help me. She's the kind of person, I was of the opinion, she tells you she's gonna do something, she's gonna do it. So, you know, my grandmother a couple weeks later would get sick and go to the hospital, and it was pneumonia. She had been doing nothing but laying in bed for almost 2 months, right? So now, one of the things the doctors said was, oh, you have that many cats, you should probably not have that many cats. And my aunt's like, well, my niece is moving out soon. Anyway, she communicates with me on Monday, the 12th of October, I believe. Whatever day the 12th was. You know? Can we just fast forward you getting out of there with the cats? And I'm like, oh, I'll just take everything here to my office. No problem, you know? It was gonna work just fine. She's like, get all your stuff that's out and about, that's in the way, because I'm gonna have it deep cleaned. Okay. She said just the stuff that was in the... I didn't have to worry about all my stuff. I just had to have the cats out and make sure that they didn't have to move anything when they were cleaning. By the 16th, it's like 4 days later, it went from that to have all your shit out, you know, everything. And she's asking me when I can get big pieces of furniture moved. I have no way to... That's why my grandmother bought me a big red dresser when I first moved in with her. It was really nice. I was excited, but it was heavy. The only stuff I have here that survived the flooded house, is stuff I could carry myself, right? How the fuck was I gonna get that over here? I didn't have a way. My car that I'd been driving, it wasn't my car, but I was allowed to drive it. It wasn't drivable at this time, so I had to use my grandmother's nice car to move my cats over here. One of my cats, my cats are traumatized at this point from all, it all started one afternoon. They were rescued by boat, and they were shoved in clear plastic bins with holes poked in them, and they were like getting sprayed from the boat propeller as we were rescued. You know, they had a hell of a fucking day. And then all the places that we've been kicked out, Ichi shits himself in the car. Ichi gets in a car, Ichi shits himself. That's not why I hate Ichi. And I don't really hate Ichi, I just sort of hate Ichi. But he shits himself, right? It's a lot. Zelda died in the middle of this. She's my OG kitty. The cats were really happy being fancy cats, and all of a sudden, like, there's this move, and they're like peeing everywhere, and I have to get a storage unit because this place, you know? So it's really, really frantic, and I went from just having to, okay, my grandmother has pneumonia, and I just have to have all my cats out sooner than anticipated. Okay. Then it was like, get all your fucking shit out, or else. That's how it felt, right? But it was like that because I would leave Zelda's cat bed in the garage out of the way, totally out of the way, and it got thrown away. When I found out it was thrown away, I was like, oh God, silly, silly, silly. And my aunt said, what the fuck does that mean? I can only assume that's how her voice sounded because it was text message. She promptly tried to call me and I was not about to answer because I was sad. I was upset that she had her cat bed thrown away. It didn't make any sense. Why am I getting kicked out? We just have this talk, like, you know? But, you know, then I'm receiving texts that I need to return that car. I ignore them because I don't have a car and I have to get my shit in a storage unit, and I just have a thing about being bullied these days. So then I get a text like the 21st, the first time I didn't answer when she said to return the car, that she changed the locks. Okay. I mean, I didn't even know my grandmother was home. That was how I found out she was home. Well, what can you do? Not a goddamn lot. Eventually you can talk about it on the internet. So I got quite a reaction from her when I said silly, silly, but she's not a petty woman, right? And again, nobody's that, you know? Whatever problem she has had to have started before then. But I asked her, why are you getting icy with me? And she's like, you're looking too deeply into it. And prior to that, honestly, the only time I had ever been about my aunt was we had that lunch and she said the thing, restaurant week. Her and her husband, she said, did not like restaurant week because of the kind of people it brought in. And I didn't, that was really off-putting, but she couldn't tell. I made a joke, you know? That's how I handled it, like a wiener. I made a joke. So it's not like she knew that I was. Fast forward to, I'm pregnant. She tells me how to have abortion and so on and so forth. Like, this shit with my aunt is weird. It's really, really weird. So I'm kicked out, right? And I did eventually return the car. She canceled the credit cards before I could try to pay for some movers to go get that red piece of furniture. So my grandmother was going to fix the RAV4, and she was going to let me use a credit card to do some shit because I'd been taking care of her and I had not at all been working, and she knew that. And she was still, it was worth it to her. She said she was really grateful. All kinds of stuff, you know? Then the credit card is canceled that I was using, and no car. Car's not getting fixed. And then I start getting emails from my grandmother that we just don't have anything in common. We can't be family. Okay. So my mom, she's my mom, you know? My mom tried to help me as much as she could, I think. She was living right across. There's another property of my grandmother's in the next apartment complex over. My mom and my good aunt were holed up in there. And between the three of us, there was one vehicle, my mom's truck.